Okay, good morning. It is April 27th. It's about 1:30 in the morning. I just finished I just finished watching you know, probably 6 hours or so, 6.5 hours of NBA playoff basketball. And I wanted to speak on the Milwaukee Bucks, Miami Heat series. Bucks Heat. The Heat just actually closed out that series by beating the Bucks in this game. Obviously, game began on the 26th. It went past midnight because the game went into overtime. Um, Now this is what's interesting, and I'm gonna make a call on this, and this is not me calling for this to happen. I'm gonna make this call, and I'm gonna say there were a number of concerns. I mean, if you go back and you take a look at the previous game where Jimmy Butler had, I think, 56, and there was a total breakdown in the fourth quarter on the part of the Milwaukee Bucks. Total breakdown, right? So the way I look at it, right, in NBA basketball, like in any profession, when total breakdown happens, you go back, you kind of unpack it, you debrief, and you look at what happened because you don't want that to happen again. That's I guess a part of coaching in preparation, but it would be the same way in sales. I mean, I'm in the sales world, so I know it's very processed as far as coaching in a lot of professions because that's the only way to be able to quantify things and isolate where improvement needs to happen. So this is my problem. Okay, I give a pass on the last game for coaching, but to have the same thing like repeat itself in a number of ways, in terms of the execution at the end of the game, the breakdowns. Um, so I'll give you one of the things that I noticed specifically because I've been doing some sports betting. But one of the things I've noticed because I'm paying a lot more attention to games now is that Giannis is playing a lot of point forward, right? But the problem here is he's not recording that many assists. So is he playing point forward just to facilitate his own offense? Because in that role, when I look at LeBron in the same role, you know, uh, I'm a little biased. I'm a LeBron fan, but I look at LeBron in the same role, and I don't really see though that type of execution and those type of passes happening. I don't see that average of you know 5, 6, 7 assists a game because the ball's always in your hands. So if the ball's always in Giannis's hands, that means he has opportunities when defenses collapse. Like the Miami Heat did an amazing job this game of collapsing on him, and he did an awful job of recognizing it and being able to actually, you know, get the ball out of his hand to where it needed to be or to go. I think he was a little bit. Giannis has been a little bit out of sync. That's what happens when you get injured in the time frame he got at the beginning um, of the series, and then he comes back, and he's really trying to play his way back into it. But I think Milwaukee coaching did a disservice, you know, to the players and the fans because working his way back in, whatever that plan was, I don't think it was a really good plan. And this is just from a fan's perspective. You know, I don't think it was a good plan because he's working his way back in at the cost of some of the things that the Bucks were doing well when he wasn't there. So, a perfect example: putting the responsibility on him of running the offense and for him trying to play himself back in at the same time. You know, once again, speaking of putting your assets in the best positions to be successful. To me, coaching once again didn't put him in the best position to be successful because he's running point forward. You know, there's not 5 or 6 assists a game, even though I'm certain there's plenty of opportunities for 5 or 6 assists a game. Um, and he was playing that role better before he got hurt. But you know, you got to focus on getting back in rhythm, um, just getting back into your routine of what you're doing before. So the least responsibilities you have while you're doing that, you know, you like give this responsibility, and then you get that one polished and more comfortable. Then you add one to it. I think asking him to go back into exactly what he's doing before, I think that and coaching, putting him in the position to do that, I think that right there is a major part of why um, Milwaukee lost the series. Um, and I'll go back to last year also. I think ultimately with the level of talent and the Milwaukee Bucks team the way it is, and I'm not even a prime Bucks fan, you know what I'm saying? But there's no way with that level of talent this should have ended the way it did. I mean, it's kudos to the Heat and Jimmy Butler. I mean, but I think even as players, I mean, when you play, and I only played recreationally, sometimes you're shocked at how the game ends and how it goes down at the end. And I'm sure the Miami Heat players are a little, you're happy as hell, but you're shocked because it's it's sort of like they open the door for you to take advantage of the opportunity. And kudos to the Heat because they were ready to take advantage of the opportunity. So that's why Spoelstra is the coach he is. You see, so you look at the two different things, and I can break this down probably 70-75% coaching. I'm talking about how players were positioned to be successful, um, how Miami made adjustments, the defenses they ran, um, how they positioned Jimmy Butler to be successful, the passes, like the pass from the top of the, I think it's just beyond the free throw line that actually bam through to Jimmy down low. Butler catching that lob for the tip in to tie the game. Look, as many things as Miami did well, a numerous things in terms of coaching and preparation, obviously, that the Bucks did wrong. Because what I really want is a good series, however it turns out. But what I don't want is you know this I think was a little disastrous in terms of the because you can't have the same breakdowns 2 games in a row. Um, and sometimes when that happens, when you go back to last season, look at this season, sometimes that encourages change. I'm not saying or calling for that, but I'm saying sometimes those are the things you look at because with enough talent and the window, you have to be able to take advantage of now. So you have to be able to take advantage of Giannis's. I'm now this season's over. I mean, probably the next 2 or 3 seasons, at least he has an opportunity to win another championship or another two. You got to maximize that, and I don't think this coaching direction is actually gonna take you there. At least not from looking at playoff growth from 2 days ago to this game and how this all went down. You know, um, guys, give me some feedback on it. What do you think? You know, like I said, this is my forum. I really just want to speak on people, culture, and the things that affect us. Like sports, food, and things like that. So while the NBA playoffs is going on, probably gonna speak on that a few times. But I would be most appreciative if you would subscribe to my channel, if you enjoy the content, and if you think it's something you'd be interested in hearing more of. All right, have a good one.